sports.
We are Buffalo. We are Ohio.
Mother Nature washed out the final two games of the Yankee series, and now the Tribe gets a break from the AL East to take on the division rival White Sox. Justin Masterson has been lights out, defeating both of last year's Cy Young Award winners in his two starts, and he looks to lead the Indians back on the winning track next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Indians baseball. Tonight, the Tribe welcomes in their Central Division rivals from Chicago as they open a three-game weekend series against the White Sox. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Hopefully, we're playing baseball tonight. A long couple of nights here at the yard waiting for Mother Nature. She never complied. Yankees have left town. Now Chicago's in here. Nice to get back in the division, even though it's only for a three-game stint.
It is, and you know what? We don't need an off day. We need to play. They've had enough time sitting, and we're going to get back to Justin Masterson, which is good.
Masterson's been outstanding. I mean, his first two starts, you can't ask for anything more than he's given you.
Well, he went out there and he matched up against two Cy Young Award winners last year, and he beat both of them. He's been free and easy. In his last start against Tampa, Matt, he had a very good slider. Even the left-handers, he went out there. He's nice and relaxed. When he can keep his fastball between 89 and 93, that ball has great movement. And you can see in his career against the White Sox, 4 and 5, but he's been brilliant this year. The Indians need one of his performances matched up against Jose Quintana, who is 1-0 against the Tribe with a 1.46 ERA.
So the Indians go up against the left-hander from Chicago, Masterson, hoping to throw up another W in the win column for the Tribe. We're back with tonight's first pitch as the Indians take on the gang from the south side of Chicago. When we continue on, baseball on Sports Time Ohio is coming up next. A chilly night under cloudy skies in downtown Cleveland. Our temperature at game time will be 42 degrees with a wind chill. It's going to feel like it's in the 30s. Justin Masterson, shirt sleeves and all, ready to toe the rubber for the try. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Robin Ventura and the Chicago White Sox. Alejandro De Aza, the center fielder, to lead it off. Jeff Keppinger in the 2-hole. Then Alex Rios batting third. Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, Diane Viciedo in the middle. Then Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, and Hector Jimenez will bat ninth.
Justin Masterson making his third start. He has been very good in his first two, undefeated. And he went 13 innings in his first two starts, giving up just 5 hits. Has walked 7, struck out 13, and has beaten Cy Young's in his last 2 outings. But it's just nice to get him back out there. First of all, it's just nice to play baseball. We've had 2 nights off, so he's looking forward to it. And the defense behind Masterson tonight looks like this. Brantley is in left, Bourne is in center, Stubbs in right. It'll be Chisenhall at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Swisher at first. Gomes is behind the plate.
Jim Wolf will call the balls and strikes. Ed Hickox at first, Corey Blazer at second. The crew chief, Jim Joyce, is down at third. So we're ready to go on this Friday evening. And the good news is the players are anxiously awaiting tonight's game. After getting rained out back-to-back games, they're raring and ready to go. And so are the Chicago White Sox. For different reasons, though. The Indians just want to get back on the field and play a game. The White Sox, they're trying to expel the bad taste in their mouth after getting beat up on by the Washington Nationals, swept in a 3-game series in our nation's capital. So they're winless to start their current road trip. Alejandro De Aza, 270 hitter early on in the season as Robin Ventura looks on from his perch in the White Sox dugout along the first base line. And Justin Masterson with a first pitch fastball for strike one.
Justin Masterson has not been throwing as hard. I guess you call it free and easy. He's been trying to relax a little more, just let the ball do what it naturally does.
One hopper to second. Kipnis had a little trouble with his footing, but he's able to hang on, make the play for out number one. With more on Justin Masterson and his fast start, here's Katie Witham.
Well, thanks, guys. Rick, you just mentioned one of the keys for Justin Masterson this season is not overthrowing things. He's also commanding the ball and really letting his sinker work for him. Indians pitching coach Mickey Callaway told me it's important for him to come out here and stick with his approach, which has been using a good mix of pitches, especially when it comes to that 2-seam and 4-seam fastball.
Jeff Keppinger in the 2-hole. Looks at a 4-seam fastball right there. The 4-seamer is a fastball that stays true and on the same plane. The 2-seamer is the one that will dart and dive. And sometimes it can even be confused with Masterson's slider. In his last start, it was originally thought he threw 29 sliders. He said, well, it was actually 26. 3 of those were sinkers that looked like sliders.
You got underneath them.
Yeah,
right. You get underneath that sinker, and it can do something a little strange. But still, for 26 sliders for Masterson is a lot. Normally, he goes at you a lot of times with the power sinker.
Wasn't it a game against Chicago? It was a divisional opponent. He threw like one slider in that start a couple of years ago.
It was a couple of years ago, and I believe it was the Chicago White Sox, yes.
And Masterson has said, hey, I have the kind of fastball where a lot of times I'll just get into a groove and get comfortable, and that's all I'll throw. But he knows that in order to be successful, he's got to pitch.
Yeah.
Can't just throw all day long the same pitch.
Well, he pitched in his last start against Tampa. Pitched very well.
Swung on and missed. He got Keppinger, and that is his first strikeout, 2 down in the inning. Take a look at our keys to the game tonight. Along came Paulie. Well, that's a guy that's been a thorn on the side of the Indians for a long time. His career numbers are tremendous against the Indians, so you want to try to hold him at bay as best as possible, and just in time, hopefully Masterson can set the tone as the team's ace. Rios spins out of the way. He's hitting .429, and Rios finished last season very strong. In fact, he's got a 9-game hitting streak, tied for the longest active streak right now in the big leagues. And if you go back to last year, he's hit in his last 15 in a row. Of course, hitting streaks do not carry over one season to the next as far as an official major league statistic.
But it gives you an idea of how this guy has really found a level of consistency. Because there for a while, Rick,
yes,
you know, he had 229 one year, then 280 the next, and then the next year back down to 200.
Well, that's why the White Sox turned it around, is because Rios had a good year, and the guy on deck, Dunn, hit the long ball last year. So that's really a big part why this offense turned it around. The Chicago White Sox were hanging in there, and they ended up, staying with the Detroit Tigers most of the way through last year till about the last week of the season.
Rios got a piece.
And Rios came out and with the WBC, and, you know, he was thrown into the fire. They played some pretty heavy-duty ball games, and he was up for the task. He's a good ball player. Always has been.
2 down, bases empty, 2-2 pitch. Pop back out of play. Alex Rios first came onto the scene with the Toronto Blue Jays, and early on in his career, because of his size, because of his speed, his overall ability, this guy was targeted for superstardom. The 2-2. Down low.
Do you remember a few years ago where those hands when he was hitting used to be? Real low. And he'd bring them back up. Now he starts them up around the back shoulder where he looks much more comfortable than what he did back then.
Hits this one a long way, deep to left. It's over Brantley's head. It's off the wall. Brantley makes a good, strong throw to second base. Forget it. They got him. Rios retired on a strong throw from left field by Michael Brantley. Well, Rios gets a base hit, but he will not get extras. All right, no score, bottom of the first inning. Indians coming to bat. Tribe starting lineup presented by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Bourne at the top, followed by Asdrubal Cabrera, then Jason Kipnis. Nick Swisher, Mark Reynolds, Michael Brantley. Jan Gomes catching, hitting 7th, and Lonnie Chisenhall and Drew Stubbs batting 9th. Michael Bourne stands in, hitting .344 with a homer, a ribby, 3 doubles, a triple, and a steal. And Jose Quintana delivers a pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
Jose Quintana is 24 years old. He'd come up last year and made his first appearance against the Indians right here May 7th. Game 1 of a doubleheader, pitched very, very well. 5 2/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, walked 2 and struck out 3.
Missed inside. And Bourne bangs it out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Last year, Quintana, you can see.
Well, that's what he is so far this year.
So
Last
far
year he
this
was
year,
500 pitcher in the big leagues. 6.6, 3.76 ERA.
But he did a nice job for him, filling in.
Considering that was his first taste of big league action.
Correct.
I mean, you're in the heat of a pennant race. Everybody's counting on you every time you go out there.
Yeah, worked 7 innings or more 8 times for the White Sox last year. In 6 innings, 13 times.
Foul to play down the left side. Quintana only 24 years old, but already he's bounced around. He originally signed with the New York Mets back in 06. And he spent 08, 09, and 2010 in the Yankees minor league system before signing with the White Sox in 2012 as a minor league free agent. And he went his last year with the Yankees, he went 10-2 at Tampa in the New York farm system with a 2.91 ERA. Got a piece. Bourne stays alive. Perhaps one of the reasons he bounced around is that back in 2007, while he was, I assume he was still part of the Mets organization at that time, he received a 50-game suspension for violating the drug program. Bourne is out looking. And Quintana has a strikeout and 1 away. Here's our great clip of the game. We have to go all the way back to Tuesday. Last time the Indians were on the field, and Asdrubal Cabrera clobbering his 2nd home run of the year, his first here of the season at Progressive Field. Great clips. It's going to be great. Blown away, ball 1. Asdrubal Cabrera, we mentioned before, missed time at the end of spring training with some back stiffness. 1-1 pitch. And as Terry Francona said, it wasn't a matter of Cabrera not being healthy as much as it was just not having a lot of reps, a lot of at-bats. And that's what spring training is for, getting your reps, getting your at-bats.
Some people need more than others to feel comfortable. Others, other guys will tell you, hey, look, give me about 25 at-bats and I'm fine to go. Other guys need more than that.
And when you miss a big chunk like that right towards the end, and you only get, I think he only played 2 games right before we started the season, so maybe that gap in there.
Well, then you're thrown into the fire, and now you think you're at midseason form, and you're playing catch-up is what you're doing, and he does go.
He chased, and Quintana has struck out the first 2 Indians.
Let's check that White Sox defense behind Quintana. They have made 9 errors this year. It's Viciedo in left, Diasa in center, Rios is in right. Gillespie is at third, Ramirez at short, Keppinger at second, Dunn is at first with Jimenez behind the plate. 9 errors. Last year, they led the majors in fielding percentage at a .988 clip. Well, they have the most errors this year at this point.
No, they're going to be without Gordon Beckham, their very talented second baseman who's terrific defensively. He broke a hamate bone, so he'll be out anywhere 4 to 6 weeks potentially. Jason Kipnis, a swing and a miss. White Sox also without their pitching coach, Don Cooper. Long time with the organization, recovering from illness. He was in the hospital with diverticulitis. And so Bobby Thigpen Great closer of his era filling in while Cooper is on the mend. Jose Quintana has fallen behind Jason Kipnis here. 3 balls and a strike with 2 down. Bottom of the first inning, no score. And a foul right back, full count. Yankees are in action at home tonight, hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox already rained out at home today against Tampa. Here's the payoff pitch. And he strikes out the side to start the game. No score after 1. Brought to you by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. Fresh vegetables, tasty sauces, and juicy chicken in a warm tortilla. Try one today. Second inning, Indians, White Sox, no score. Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, and Diane Viciedo will bat for Chicago. Indians shift 3 on the right side for Dunn, who bangs one to first base. Big hop for Nick Swisher. And quickly 1 out. Here's our stat of the game, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. Current consecutive innings streaks without allowing a home run.
Well, one thing the Indians pitching staff has done a lot this year is given up home runs, but Justin Masterson with the sinker usually does a nice job of keeping it in the ballpark. And I like to see that from Justin. 1 pitch, 1 out. Get the ground ball.
Here's Paul Konerko. And there is that good off-speed pitch from Masterson. Konerko, .279 career average against the Tribe, 46 homers, 171 RBIs.
Yeah,
he covers almost 850 at-bats.
He has done a lot of damage over the years. Hit, some big situations, big hits. This is the one guy that you can honestly say, hey, when it's on the line, make somebody else beat you here. Especially what he's proven to the Indians over the years.
1-2 pitch missing. And the count evens at 2-2. Masterson fires. And a check swing. It stays fair. Swisher's got it in fair ground. And Konerko, a rare at bat, where he didn't even take a full hack. And the Indians retire him 2 down.
Well, once that ball stayed on the grass, it wasn't going to do anything but stay fair. Look at the sequence. Masterson comes up, a good fastball away to get ahead. Then a slider. He's down in the count 0-2. Went with the sinker away. A good about 90-mile-an-hour two-seamer. And then another sinker. He just checks his swing. Didn't want to swing because of the movement on that pitch. It stayed fair and gets his second out to first base of the inning.
Now Diane Viciedo. Viciedo taking a strike. Masterson had a good slider in his opening day start against Toronto, but everyone was remarking that against Tampa, it was really electric. Even Joe Smith, his teammate who watches from the bullpen, said it was filthy. Fouled back out of play.
It's a big man that if he stays within himself and doesn't try and do too much or overthrow, you will see that a lot. And it's a matter of harnessing yourself, and maybe he's feeling it and he gets it.
The 1-2 pitch. There it was again.
But that's still a good pitch in that situation. Didn't miss by much.
Of his slider against the Tampa Bay Rays, Joe Smith said, quote, "Best I've ever seen his slider. It was nasty." 2-2. There's a slider and locked him up for strike 3 call to end the inning. So both pitchers dominating early here in Cleveland. Go to the bottom of the second inning after Justin Masterson retire the White Sox in order. Tribe will send Nick Swisher, Mark Reynolds, Michael Brantley to the plate. Jose Quintana struck out the side in the first. So the left-hander looking sharp for Chicago right out of the gate. After he went just 4 innings in his first start, allowing 5 runs and 8 hits, walking 2, striking out 3.
Yeah, that start came against the Seattle Mariners.
Nick Swisher taking a strike. Seattle, a couple of bad breaks. Michael Morse down for, they say now, maybe only 3 to 4 days with a fractured little finger, pinky finger. But they also lost
Saunders.
Was it Michael Saunders?
The outfielder ran into the wall and had some shoulder issues, yes. And the White Sox coming in off the sweep of the Nats, the Washington Nationals, who look very strong.
Swisher taking a strike, doesn't like the call from Jim Wolf. Speaking of strong, how about the Oakland Athletics? They've won 8 in a row after they lost their first 2, but they're only a game up on Texas, who has gone 7-3 to start the year.
Yeah, Oakland coming off a sweep of the Angels out in L.A.
Yeah, they took it to them. Now 1-2 from Quintana, and Swisher checks it's low. Over in the National League, you've got Atlanta off to a great start at 8-1, and the Nationals that you just mentioned are right behind them again.
That's the weekend series going on. Washington's in Atlanta. Should be a good one.
2-2 the count for Swisher. The left-hander Quintana deals. And it's banged to third. Connor Gillespie makes the play. 1 away. Here's tonight's trivia question from AT&T. Between 1947 and 1964, only 2 American League teams other than the Yankees won the pennant. There's a high pop off the bat of Mark Reynolds. Foul ground. Adam Dunn now back near the line. Makes the catch in foul ground. 2 away. All right, so 2 away for Michael Brantley. Brantley off to a good start this year.
How about that throw he made?
Beautiful.
To get Rios, man.
Right on the money.
Second assist of the year. He fielded it off the wall.
He should have 3, right? Because wasn't it Brantley who made the great throw to Kipnis and they said he missed the tag? Was that Michael?
I think it was. Yeah, where he slid right into his glove.
Yeah, we were in
Watch
Tampa,
this.
right?
I mean, Rios hit one. He put his head down. And just watch how he fields it, bare hands it, and I mean throws a strike. And he's sitting there waiting for him. What a beautiful play. So that's his second assist. You remember Rayburn has an assist as well. So this is game number 9, and the Indians outfielders with 3 assists.
The 1-1. Pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike.
I like it how he played it off the wall. He let it come back to him. He didn't panic. He didn't use a glove. He barehanded it and throws it to Kipnis in plenty enough time to get Rios. That's confidence right there. That's knowing your wall.
High pop, foul back, and this will get out of play. Michael steps away. With a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down, bases empty here in the home half of the second. Just missing, up and away, and a full count. Well, that fingernail paint's becoming very popular among catchers now. He's got the fluorescent.
I mean, you can see it. It's why not? If a lot of pitchers have a tough time looking in because it's shadowy, you put that on, there's no problem.
Brantley drives it deep center. Diazza racing back. It's well over his head. And Michael will roll into second base with a 2-out double. His first extra base hit of the season. We remarked at what a great start he was off to, swinging the bat so well in Toronto. Those were all singles. This time he lashes one deep center field.
Comes back with the fastball for a strike this time. He missed with the 2-2 pitch, but Brantley was ready for that one. Stayed on it beautifully. Sends Diazza to the wall. So a 2-out double for Michael will give Gomes an opportunity now with 2 outs to try and take a lead.
Yan Gomes looks at a ball down low. We expect to see Carlos Santana back in the lineup before the weekend is over. In fact, Carlos caught Brett Meyer's bullpen session. He told Terry Francona he wanted to play tonight.
Well, and
Terry appreciated that, but said, yeah, no.
Well, Terry's been around long enough. He knows when a player tells you he's ready, you give him a couple more days. And then he figures everything is okay. And on a cool night with that bruise, you don't want to, re-injure it and then spend more time around. You got to make sure when he comes back the way he's been swinging the bat, he'll be ready. Get another left-hander. You got Chris Sale tomorrow for the White Sox, which is a 4 o'clock start. And then we get Jake Peavy on Sunday. So hopefully he'll be back for one of those 2 games, if not both of them.
1-1 count for Yan Gomes, with Brantley at second and 2 down in the second. Called a strike over the outside corner. Last year in his 43 games with Toronto, his only time in the big leagues to this point in his career, Gomes had 4 doubles, 4 homers. And the 1-2 is way up high.
Looking at that scoreboard in that Washington-Atlanta series, Washington already a 2-0 lead. I thought it was in Atlanta, but it's in Washington. Harper got him rolling. 2-run homer.
And Washington appears to be the real deal once again. Fouled back by Gomes. Gomes getting an opportunity with both Lou Marson, who's on the DL, and Carlos Santana, who is not, sidelined. Trying to give the Indians the early lead here in the second. The 2-2 pitch from Quintana. Missed inside, and now a full count. Gomes, the first Brazilian-born player to make it to the big leagues, as you see Lou Marson, who was busy catching and throwing and running before the game, has been his routine the last couple of days, trying to stay sharp while he recovers from a neck sprain. 3-2 pitch is ripped foul. Been a lot of attention given to that play by the national media in particular. Tom Verducci wrote a story that appeared on a national website, I believe it was SI.com, and it got a lot of play because Verducci has taken the stance that he wants to advocate that baseball get rid of the play at the plate. In other words, ban the option of a runner being able to plow into the catcher. And you basically elicit strong responses from both sides. There are people who say you've got to keep it in. It's one of the most exciting plays in baseball. And there are others who really, like Mike Matheny, who suffered a number of concussions throughout his career because of plays like that at the plate, feels like it shouldn't be allowed because you can't run over any other base runner, any other fielder on a base. Payoff pitch. Delayed call, but Jim Wolf rings up Gomes to end the inning. So the Indians get a hit, but they leave one stranded here in the second. No score through 2. We go now to the third inning. No score between the Indians and the White Sox. Each team with one hit. Bottom third of the White Sox order coming up here. Connor Gillespie, Alexei Ramirez, and Hector Jimenez. And a first pitch strike for Masterson.
That's, to me, is very big for Justin, is to come out here and, like he said, he's pounding the strike zone. You want to see him get strike one and go to work. This is a team that he faced 5 times last year. He started against the White Sox. So when you get back into your division and you're pitching against guys that have a history against you, that certainly helps when you can get ahead.
Yeah, you don't want these guys sitting back taking inventory of everything
Right.
you're throwing and then have them in hitters' counts all
That's
the time.
right.
Checked his swing, but he went around. He tried to hold up. And now 1 ball, 2 strike count. Masterson, 29 pitches, 21 strikes.
Yeah, last year out of his 5 starts, he was 1-1, an ERA of 4.18, and they just had a tough time beating the White Sox. The White Sox were 11-7 against the Indians last year.
Base hit into right field. So on a 1-2 count, Gillespie pulls one through the right side, and Chicago gets their leadoff man aboard. We had a chance to talk with Terry Francona between innings, and I asked him what he has liked that he has seen from Masterson so far.
Well, he's doing everything, which is good. I mean, his stuff is good. He's pounding the zone, and he's showing a better breaking ball, at least his last outing. But I think even early in the season, he's pitching with a ton of confidence.
It's nice to get back out and play a ball game, huh, after sitting for a couple of days?
You know what, Arch? Even when it's this cold, it's nice to be out.
Yeah.
There's nothing, man, it's so glamorous sitting at the ballpark for 2 days, just sitting in the clubhouse, not even coming out here. This is, I don't care how cold it is, let's play.
Terry, what are the challenges hitters face after sitting for 2 long days like that?
Well, you know what? I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I felt challenges every night. But I think what it is when it's cold, hitters, they don't carry over from at-bat to at-bat. It's like you got to reload every time just because the bat, the pine tar doesn't stay sticky. It's just, when you, as a hitter, you feel good when you start getting on a roll. It's hard when it's cold.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, guys.
All right, so Alexei Ramirez with the leadoff man aboard for Chicago here in the third. And a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Thought that was interesting. Basically, I think what Terry's saying is that when it's cold like this, there's no momentum for the hitters. Every at-bat feels like your first AB.
Well, and it's true sometimes, depending on how long the inning is. And as a pitcher, defensively, you want your pitchers to throw strikes so you're not out there that long. You can come into the dugouts. Now they have heat and you can get warm. But as a hitter, man, you want to get up there. You want to look for a decent pitch to get after. And when a pitcher can throw his breaking ball for a strike in this weather, it makes it that much more tougher as a hitter.
That's a third strikeout for Masterson as Ramirez couldn't hold up. He went fishing. Watch the break here.
See, a lot of times, man, when it's this cold and it's tough for pitchers to get a grip on the baseball, and it's tough to throw breaking balls, but he's got a good slider. A lot of times they'll have moisture on their hat or something just to get something that they can get a feel for the ball because it gets very slick when it's cold. And, hitters look for that fastball, but when you're throwing a good breaking ball, it makes it so tough to hit.
I love the fact that Justin's he's going the old Vince Lombardi Green Bay Packers throwback mentality. He's got shirt sleeves. You got Nick Swisher at first has got the ear flaps pulled over his hat. Jason Kipnis has got the hoodie on. Not Justin, man.
Well, the pitchers, they're moving. They're on every pitch, and, that's good if it feels good for him.
Ground ball to third. Chisenhall to second for one. Kipnis on to first. A double play ends the inning. So Justin Masterson with his trademark ground ball. And the Tribe turns 2 around the horn. back here at Progressive Field. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. For the Indians here in the home half of the third, Lonnie Chisenhall, Drew Stubbs, and then Michael Bourne.
It was a nice double play turned by Chisenhall over to Kipnis to get out of the inning.
I know you've commented on it, Rick. It's nice to see how well Lonnie Chisenhall has played defensively because, people have always said of Lonnie Chisenhall, we think he'll be a good hitter at the big league level. Defensively, he's going to have to work at it. Well, he's put the work in, and he's really shown the ability to make all the throws, all the plays you have to make.
He's got a great arm, and he's made some plays where the bare hand coming in on bunt plays this year. You know what? It's just a matter of getting repetition and playing games. He's been hurt a couple of times, and he's missed a lot of action. He's fine. It's just a matter of getting reps out there.
There's a fly ball routine to Rios in right field, one away. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800.
This is a serious injury.
Oh, this is not good. Elk, Ohio, by the way, to finish the phone number. Zach Greinke, Dodgers starter, suffered a broken left collarbone after Carlos Quentin charged the mound when Greinke hit him with a pitch last night. Greinke absorbed the blow from Quentin, who charged the mound rather than try to get out of the way, and he wound up with a broken collarbone. And I just was reading, I think he's scheduled for surgery tomorrow now to repair the damage done to that collarbone. So that's not good news for the Dodgers.
Early in the year, boy, and I think it's a history. Those two go back a ways. When Quentin was here with the White Sox, Greinke was with the Kansas City Royals, and just something struck Quentin. He just snapped and ran to the mound, and he's going to miss, almost 2 months, it says, for coming off
8
of surgery.
weeks. I mean, that's what they're saying. Who knows, right, Rick? I mean, anytime they talk about surgery.
It is the left collarbone, though.
Down low to Drew Stubbs. 3 balls and a strike. Here's a high pop. Shallow right. And it's a long run for Rios. He does make the catch. Wasn't sure initially if he was going to make it there in time, but it held up just long enough for him to make the catch. If you missed it, this was the play we're talking about last night in San Diego. It's a 3-2 pitch in a 1-run game. Quentin felt it was intentional, and he went right after Greinke.
And Greinke
took the brunt of it.
Well, it's almost like he was trying to block him, from stopping him. I mean, get out of the way. Watch him put that left shoulder down. Puts it down, and there goes Quentin, who's 230 pounds. He's a big boy.
He used to use his left shoulder, right?
That's true.
Paul Konerko, who, of course, was Carlos Quentin's former teammate here in Chicago, was asked about this before the game today, and he took his former teammate's side in the matter. And we'll talk about that when we return as Bourne grounds out to end the inning. The Indians go 1-2-3, and through 3, no score. No scores. We go to the fourth inning. Both pitchers in command here so far tonight. Top of the order due up for Chicago. Just want to finish the thoughts on the situation that occurred last night between Carlos Quentin and Zach Greinke. Greinke suffered a broken collarbone after Quentin charged him out after he was drilled by a pitch. And you mentioned that the history of it goes back to their days when Quentin was with Chicago,
right.
Greinke was with the Royals. He hit Carlos Quentin twice while they were playing for their respective teams at that time. Now they find themselves out on the West Coast.
In the same division.
Same situation. So Quentin gets hit. Now it's the third time he's been hit by Greinke. Paul Konerko was asked about it today, and he said, look, the problem is it's a cumulative thing. And after a while you say, wait a minute, let's address this. As this pitch is sliced foul out away. He said, I'm going to stick up for the hitter most of the time, and I'm definitely sticking up for Carlos flat out because, again, it takes one fastball up and in to break a bone or give you a concussion, whatever, and your season's over. It gets just chalked up to as well, it got away. How many times can you let a ball get away from somebody before you go do something? I guess that many. There it is, end quote.
That's right. You know what? There you have it.
Chisenhall tried to make the play there, and Diaz's going to get aboard.
I've always told you, you know what? Instead of dropping your bat or saying something or chirping or talking, if you have a problem with the guy throwing at you, go get him. And it happened last night. So there it is. There's an error. Chisenhall had a ball. It just spins away from him. He looked like he was a little undecided whether to go to the backhand or turn it this way. He decided to go to the backhand and didn't make the play. So that'll be an error. That's number 8 for the Indians this year.
Leadoff man aboard for Chicago. Here's Jeff Keppinger, struck out his first time up. And a foul back. I mean, that situation last night, understandably, was very heated. So much so that Matt Kemp went after Carlos Quentin after the game was over in the tunnel outside the dressing rooms. But I think as what Konerko is saying, I think if everybody just takes a step back and looks at the history of it, they're going to understand this wasn't just a
one-time deal.
Right.
Oops, it got away. That's true. Because Quentin, if you remember, and I remember him when he was in this division, hey, he had some broken bones in his hands from getting hit a number of times because he was a guy on the dish,
plate, right.
And his hands were over the plate area. So a lot of pitchers pitched him inside, and he's backed off since. I mean, you're going to get it from both sides.
Pitch outside. Nice grab by Gomes.
But it goes to show you, I mean, it can happen to anybody. If you get hit by a pitch, it could cost you some time. Just like you charge that mound and the pitcher stays there, it's going to cost him some time. And then he's going to have to start all over again to come back.
Keppinger strikes out. Masterson with a good pitch. Just buried him inside. His 4th strikeout of the night.
Not the movement on that pitch.
All right, since 2008, there you go, Carlos Quentin at 97. Now, that doesn't mean pitchers throw at him. It's just that, as you pointed out, he stands on the plate and he does not give an inch. He's not going to bail out of the way.
On the dish, fielder on the dish, we know. We've seen Youkilis and Weeks.
Wears it all the time.
Yes, he does.
I don't know if he just attracts him or what. Here's Alex Rios, who had a base hit and was thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double on a terrific throw in left field by Michael Brantley. Off the end of the bat, left field, Brantley comes charging in. He makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Indians baseball with live audio, pitching track, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com.
2 down for Adam Dunn, who bounced out to first on the first pitch he saw in the second inning. And a swing and a miss at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Masterson. You know, that was the other observation that Joe Smith made about Masterson in his last start against Tampa. He said, you know, you stand in the bullpen and you watch him throw, and it doesn't even look like there's that much effort. He said, it almost looks like he's just playing catch, and he's throwing it by people.
Well, that's how big he is. He's a big, strong guy.
That goes through Justin. Backhanded pick by Cabrera and throws him out. Oh, sensational hands by Asdrubal Cabrera as he took a potential hit away from Adam Dunn, and that ends the fourth inning. No score, bottom of the fourth inning. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Tribe as Asdrubal Cabrera, Jason Kipnis, and Nick Swisher. Cabrera struck out his first time up. This will be Quintana's 50th pitch of the night to start the inning. And a weak bouncer to third. Connor Gillespie throws him out. One down. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, could the Browns find an answer to their quarterback question after the first round of the draft? 5 Buckeyes football players to watch. They just wrapped up their spring game. Actually, I think it's tomorrow. Check out the progress of Francisco Lindor, the Tribe's promising minor league shortstop's off to a great start. All your Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. Jason Kipnis takes a strike. Buckeyes will have their annual Scarlet and Gray game tomorrow at Paul Brown
This is football
Stadium
weather.
in Cincinnati. Yeah, it will feel like
No kidding. It's
like a November afternoon.
It's supposed to be played in this weather.
Inside corner, called a strike, and the count is 1-2. Down in the dirt.
It's a little strange looking behind the plate and you don't see A.J. Przinsky back there for the White Sox, isn't it?
I just saw he hit his first home run with Texas
He
a couple
did.
of days ago. And I
Last
just
night
thought
against Seattle.
it seemed odd seeing him in a Rangers uniform after all those years in Texas, or in Chicago. In the air to left. Back goes Viciedo. Still going back. Makes the over-the-shoulder catch on the warning track for out number 2. Boy, he did not look real confident as he went back on that ball, but he was able to get to it and grab it.
The one thing, it's coming back. It's slicing back to him. You see, he made a half a step adjustment. He wasn't comfortable. He did get it in. That's why the bigger the glove, the better. Sometimes when you're running back like that, you get on your heels and that ball does a little bounce job. You know, it's tough to see. But the bottom line is catch it. Doesn't matter how. You don't have to draw a picture.
Nick Swisher grounded to third his first time up. Tried to hold up, but he went around. Swisher 3 hits in his first 7 at-bats in his new home. Pops this one up, foul ground, done. Near the railing, not enough room to make the catch. And Swisher stays alive, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball in. Up and in and hit him.
That's in, all right.
This is not a night you want to get hit.
No, you're right. It's not. He's just trying to come inside. That's all. You take it and you go to first base. But, boy, you're right. In this type of weather, the conditions, that hurts.
Well, the good news is I don't know where it hit him exactly, Rick, but Nick, where's that? I think it's an elbow pad.
Well, let's look and see where it hit him. Got him right on the elbow. If he's got the elbow pad on, then that's a good place to hit him. Maybe just above it. Yeah, it might have been.
Doesn't that figure?
Might have been just above it. But, you know, you're ahead of the hitter. You're trying to go inside and move him back off the plate in case you want to throw that breaking ball again or a change up away. But he gets him in the arm. If you miss, a pitcher's job is to miss in off the plate. And he did.
Mark Reynolds fouled out along the first baseline his first time up. And he takes upstairs for ball 1. Reynolds trying to snap out of an 0 for 6. He had a good series in Tampa, really mashed the baseball.
Yeah, they just haven't. This homestand just hasn't been conducive to baseball. I mean, the last 2 nights it's been raining. Now it's cold. Tough to get a feel.
Roller to third ends the inning. And after 4, no score between the Tribe and the White Sox. Brought to you by Panini's with 19 locations in Northeast Ohio. And by your local Toyota dealers for over 30 Toyota offers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Cool and overcast downtown tonight. Fifth inning, no score. Paul Konerko to lead off for Chicago, and he fouls the first pitch off. This will be Masterson's 50th pitch of the night. So far, 37 strikes, just a dozen balls. Narrowly missed that time, 2-1. You can tell Masterson's got good run on that fastball as it bears in on the hitters. A number of guys have started their swing, and as that ball has gotten closer to them, it's just bearing right in on their knuckles.
Yeah, late movement, as they call it. It's the toughest thing as a hitter. You hate to see it.
Just trying to fight it off.
It's tough to square it up. They've hit a couple balls on the nose. Rios, he was thrown out at second.
Swung out and missed. Justin Masterson's 5th strikeout of the night. And once again, it looked like a good slider away. But you run that good hard two-seamer in, and then you come back with this.
It's a nice tight slider because the hitter, you see that ball come in and you're expecting it to come in and bear on your hands. And the next thing you know, it starts breaking away and you're either pulling off it or you're a little tardy on it.
And in that case, what made that pitch so much more effective is his ability to throw it for a strike. Because a Konerko, a guy with a good eye like that, you're not going to get him to chase out of the zone very often. He will, but not very often.
No, not as many. Look at that. Good sinker.
Long throw for Cabrera. Off balance, on the money. 2 down. Nice play by Asdrubal.
Well, you don't want to miss the Boston Red Sox series. It'll be their only visit to Progressive Field this year, and there are still great seats that remain for the entire 3-game series. It'll begin Tuesday after an off day Monday, and we would like to remind you 12-ounce beers now only $4, and hot dogs $3 for every home game. Go to Indians.com for the tickets.
Connor Gillespie taking a strike. He had a base hit his first time up. He pulled a ball between first and second. And quickly 0-2 the count. Top half of this 5th inning. Up and away with a fastball.
Ouch. Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but that hurts. Anyway. On a night like tonight, you see him foul it straight off, and you hear him scream.
Yeah, you don't want to get foul tips on any night, but in particular when it's cool like this. Get ahead, pound the strike zone. That's what he's been doing.
12 of 16 first pitch strikes for Masterson. That is a beautiful thing.
Calling for the sinker here, the 1-2. He got a piece of that, pulls it foul. Rick, how often in a dugout during a game, if a guy's just got, that kind of great stuff, are guys saying, he's nasty tonight, or guys still talking each other up? You can get him. Go ahead. You can get him.
They know. I mean, if you're talking to another hitter, they're facing the same guy. They know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, he has been on tonight. Masterson has struck out 5 White Sox hitters, and he has allowed just 2 hits. Score as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Michael Brantley, Jan Gomes, and Lonnie Chisenhall due up for the Tribe.
You know, Jose Quintana has been on his ball game. Has 4 strikeouts, allowed just 1 hit. That coming to Brantley. Struck out the side in the first. He's left 2 stranded. Hit Swisher last inning. Other than that, he's been on his game as well. We have 61 pitches thrown going into the 5th now.
Michael doubled over the head of center fielder Alejandro De Aza in the 2nd inning for the Tribe's only hit. But that came with 2 outs in the inning. Jimenez just missed that one, I guess.
Yeah, nobody on base.
2-0. It's rare that you see a guy just whiff on one like that. Quintana fires and finds the target this time, 2-1. Close, but didn't find the zone, and now Brantley in a good spot here. 3 balls, 1 strike. What breeze we do have tonight is blowing out toward right center field. And he lines one deep to left field. Back is Viciedo, and he makes another over-the-shoulder catch. This one deep on the warning track. And that is out number 1. A really nice play in left field by Viciedo.
See, that one was hit a little more into the gap, and it started to come back to him. So that would, he looked very good catching that ball. Michael hit that ball better than he hit his first hit. That was a 3-1 pitch. Viciedo gets back, makes the catch. He got it over the head of De Aza the first time up, but got himself another fastball. Good pitch to hit. Nothing to show for that one.
Now Jan Gomes called out on strikes his first time up. Chopper up the middle. Alexei Ramirez slings it across, 2 down. Well, our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. And it's a game dominated by the 2 starting pitchers. Justin Masterson has given up just 2 hits, and he has struck out 5 through his 5 innings of work. And his counterpart, Jose Quintana, is now 2 outs into the 5th inning, and he's given up just 1 hit, striking out 4. And Lonnie Chisenhall, who flied to right, his only time up, stands in.
You look at the White Sox so far this year. They've already played 5 one-run ball games. They're 3-2 in one-run games. Definitely a night where the pitchers are dominating.
Well, you can definitely talk about the weather, but I think more than anything, it's a case where they're both throwing strikes, getting ahead, and then going to work.
Well, you're right.
They're
it's
not
no
nibbling.
fun to hit. No, they're not. They're being aggressive. They're making you put the ball in play, and it goes to show you they're both been very, very good.
Two balls, 2 strikes to count on Chisenhall.
Quintana pitched 3 times against the Indians last year. That first one we told you about, the 5 2/3, where he gave up 1 hit, didn't get a decision, and then was sent down and came back up later in the month to get the win against Cleveland. And there you'll see it.
Chisenhall's out looking, and now it's 5 strikeouts for Quintana as the Indians go 1-2-3.
Season tickets assure you the best seats at the lowest prices, and only season ticket holders get Tribe Rewards. So, giving you access to unique opportunities. Full and partial season ticket plans are on sale now at Indians.com.
Well, Justin Masterson has given the Indians what they were looking for as far as a start tonight. Alexei Ramirez, Hector Jimenez, Alejandro De Aza due up for Chicago, and the pitch is inside for ball 1.
You know, we were talking before the game, when you go back and you look at Masterson starting a season out, he started out his first 5 starts, he was 5-0 in the month of April, ended up winning his first 6 starts.
In 2011.
And then, you know, pitched very well after that, but didn't get a win for almost 2 months.
They couldn't score for him.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And he had an ERA in the low 3s. But he got off to such a great start.
Alexei Ramirez bounces one right back up the middle for a leadoff single, and that is the 3rd time now Chicago's had their leadoff man aboard.
And that's what you see. You get your ground ball. This one finds a hole. So just because it finds a hole doesn't mean it was a bad pitch. It's the third hit for the White Sox, as you mentioned, all three. No, I'm sorry, the two singles. And then they had an error to have a leadoff man aboard. The other one was a 2-out single that didn't lead to anything because Rios was thrown out at second base. There they go.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw it out to second base. They got him!
Beautiful throw by Gomes.
Yan Gomes with a terrific strike. And that erases Ramirez for out number 1.
Well, they tried to do something. And this is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. You try and put something on. Robin Ventura, it's a beautiful pitch by Masterson for Gomes to throw on. Up and away. He comes up, gets rid of it quickly, right in time to get Ramirez. So it goes 2-6 on the putout on the hit and run. And you also get a strike on the hitter.
And Jimenez, well, big swing and a miss. Looked like the exact same pitch. It's 0-2. Down on the dirt. Bounce to third. Lonnie Chisenhall from the cut of the grass slings it over. 2 down. With more on Yan Gomes and his opportunity to catch here in the big leagues with the Tribe, here's Katie Witham.
Well, Matt, it can't be easy to catch a sinker baller like Masterson, especially when you don't do it often. Yan Gomes told me he's used to the spot start behind the dish because he did it a few times in Toronto last year. The key for him is to really get to know his starter. He told me he even has a notebook where he takes notes on each, and then he kind of goes back and studies them, almost like he's studying for a test.
Well, Katie, for a guy like Yan Gomes, this is an opportunity. And he realizes it may be a week, it may be less than a week, but he's got to take advantage of it and do the very best he can. And at the very least, he's got to leave an impression, make an impression on Terry Francona and his staff that he can be a guy they can count on. I think at least defensively, he's done very well.
Yeah, he certainly has. For Masterson, who's throwing the ball very well and getting a lot of movement, he's done a fine job. And I think the Indians realize that he can catch. He's a good receiver. They wanted to see him down there every day and see if he could handle the rigors of catching every day while you're hitting and things like that. So that's yet to be determined, but he looks fine to me.
Now the 1-2 pitch. And De Aza got a piece of it.
As we've always said, when you're a catcher, your number one job is coming up and handling the pitcher, the bullpen, or pitching staff, whatever you have to do. And it takes a while coming over to a new organization to get to know these guys, what they throw, what they like to throw in certain situations. So it's not an easy job. What you like to call, you want to keep that pitcher going in rhythm, keeping him working quickly.
That's something Lou Marson has done a tremendous job of. Especially when you're in that backup role, you're not playing a lot. You don't get in that rhythm as easily as you do if you're the everyday guy.
No, all you can do is sit and watch and observe, and talk to whoever you can talk to, and just until you get back there and you get to see what that guy has in that first inning and start working him through the game. You never know. On-the-job training.
Full count to De Aza. Payoff pitch. Did he go?
He did. Yes, he did. Oh.
No. Jim Joyce said he held up. And De Aza has the walk. First free pass issued by Masterson on a borderline call.
Well, just from watching it the first time, he may have held up with those hands. The barrel head of that bat didn't. He wanted to get after it. Didn't get the call. First walk for Masterson.
And a 2-out base runner now for Jeff Keppinger.
Well, and here's a situation, too. You may see him take off if he gets an opportunity. especially if Keppinger goes down in the count early.
Diaza has 1 steal.
Not that you want to make outs on the bases, but the way these guys are pitching, you need every opportunity you can to try and get an extra base. And it's not fun to try and run. These guys are loose and they're warm, but to get it cranked up, you better get ready. Start your engines.
The 0-1. Jam job right back to the mound. Masterson takes care of that himself. And the side is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. White Sox trying to run their way to a win tonight, but Jan Guillaume says no. Bottom of the 6th inning. Still no score. White Sox have out hit the Indians 3-1. Drew Stubbs, Michael Bourne, as Dribble Cabrera due up here for the Tribe. Stubbs slide to right, his only time up back in the 3rd.
It's like Swisher's going skin diving. Give him a mask.
Is that guy's name Jacques Cousteau?
Yeah, Jacques. Give him the mask. He'll go down underneath looking for sharks.
Quintana steps away. And then a slow bouncer to 3rd. Keppinger throws him out. Let's get the answer to our AT&T trivia question tonight. Who are the 2 teams that interrupted the Yankees' run of dominance between 1947 and 1964? How about the 2 teams on the field?
I would think that's correct. 48 and 54 Tribe, 59 Sox.
Al Lopez managed both the 54 Indians and the 59 White Sox.
I think Popper was a coach on that team, wasn't he?
I think he was in the PR department.
He might have been.
Right back to the screen for Michael Bourne. Called out on strikes his first time up, bounced to short in the 3rd. Michael born and raised in Houston. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, had a good cut the fastball, the pitch before that. So Quintana saw that, and they said they're coming back with a breaking ball next pitch.
Got in on him and popped to left. Viciedo. 2 down. Tune in after Indians Live following the game for Chuck's Last Call. Chuck Coletti will take your calls on tonight's game and get you the latest information on what's happening in Cleveland sports. Chuck's Last Call tonight after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio. Well, as Dribble Cabrera bats here with 2 down and the base is empty, he is 0 for 2 tonight. And looks at a ball up high. Struck out his first time up on a check swing. Kind of got caught in between. And then last time up, chased a first pitch and just weakly bounced it to third. It's almost, Rick, as though no Indians hitter has been able to go up and just sit on any one pitch.
They're not. I mean, they haven't been able to. He's mixed it up well. Another breaking ball, you swing and miss. And the left-handers have seen opportunities to get fastballs. Brantley's had the best at-bats against him of anybody.
Yeah, Michael's hit 2 balls well.
He's been in hitters' counts. He had a 3-2 pitch the first time for a double, a 3-1 pitch in the left center field. They made a nice play.
Ran a fastball up high, and you can see Cabrera anxiously wanting to chase, but able to hold up.
Well, that's tops out. He overthrew that pitch, and it was 91. But you see the breaking balls. He's throwing you that breaking ball down and in. He's got a change up, and he's riding the fastball in on you, just showing it to you. There you go, man. He's locking people up with another fastball.
So the Indians once again go 1, 2, 3, and that's 7 in a row set down by Quintana. Get a look in at Progressive Field on this chilly night from our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill.
Yeah, that's right. 8:37. It's the top of the 7th inning. Believe it. Only 4 hits in the ball game. This game has been dominated by the pitchers. Justin Masterson for the Indians. Jose Quintana for the White Sox.
Alex Rios to lead off. And Masterson with another first pitch strike. There's Jose Quintana. Has been outstanding tonight, as has Justin Masterson. Really good duel so far. Beats it into the ground. As Dribble Cabrera sets and takes care of that for out number 1. It's Miller time now, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to last year. Remember this great play with Alex Rios at the plate. Drives it to deep center, and guess who? It's Michael Brantley who takes a home run away from him. And then tonight, it's Rios at the plate, and it's that man again in left field this time.
You better keep it away from Michael.
Adam Dunn is 0 for 2 on the night. Weak tapper by the mound. Cabrera can wait back on it and just does throw out Dunn. He almost waited a tick too long, but he knew who was running.
Well, once again, the Red Sox are coming to town after this weekend. The Indians with an off day Monday. The Red Sox come to town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and there's great seats for the entire 3-game series that will start on Tuesday. And a reminder, 12-ounce beers now only $4 and hot dogs $3 for every home game.
Paul Konerko 0 for 2 on the night. Looks at a ball down low. Konerko, a little check swing roller up the first baseline in the second inning. And then he struck out in the 5th on a very good slider from Masterson. 2 balls, no strikes. If you hadn't heard, earlier today, Major League Baseball handed down an 8-game suspension for Indians pitcher Carlos Carrasco, who is currently at AAA Columbus. The 2-0 fouled back. That's going to make it difficult for the Indians when they bring up Carlos Carrasco, because he got to sit for 8 games. So you're going to play, you'd have to play 24 minutes. You have to play short for more than a week.
The Indians did that already this year, trying to bring him back, to serve that suspension before he could pitch. They had it worked out.
Konerko with a deep drive to left field. Brantley back, running out of room. Looks up, it's off the scoreboard. Brantley, bare hand grab. Here's another throw to second. Close play. And Konerko beats it in with a 2-out double. And he had no time to spare, because Brantley with another strong throw on a good bare hand grab.
Well, Konerko, not a guy blessed with speed, but he gets the hands in nicely. Brantley runs it down, and by the time he bare hands it and throws, Konerko able to get in there and slide just to beat the tag. So a 2-out double, 4 hits now, the first extra base hit for the White Sox.
And the batter will be Diane Viciedo, who is 0 for 2. The Indians are already in the process, speaking of starting pitching, juggling their rotation around with the back-to-back rainouts. You've pushed Ubaldo Jimenez back to Tuesday. He'll start the series opener against the Red Sox.
Well, when you get back to that, now what's Carrasco do? I mean, how are they supposed to? You can't play short, depending on how your pitchers are going to be, and sit him for 8 games before he can pitch.
It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you're going to play short for a whole week.
Right.
If you activate him.
So your pitching has to be perfect. If you're going with a less pitcher, he's activated and he's serving his suspension and he can't play.
Yeah,
that's a tough way to go, man.
That puts on your bullpen.
It puts a strain on the whole team, the organization. It's not good at all.
2 balls and a strike. Out of play. Also today, the Indians called up Nick Hagedorn from AAA Columbus. Corey Kluber was sent back to AAA Columbus. Matt Albers is on the paternity list, and the Indians have activated Jason Giambi. So he is eligible to come off the bench tonight at some point should he be needed.
And I believe that paternity list is, what, 3 to 5 days? Is that the length of it, I think?
Yeah, there's the 7-day concussion DL, and then the paternity is less than that. I think
3 to 5. 3 to 5, I believe.
But the Indians are very hopeful that Carlos Santana will be back and able to play soon. And once that happens, once they feel like he's comfortable being able to play, as Viciedo strikes out to end the inning, then they could send Santos back to the AAA, and then they'd be back to full strength. Boy, another strong inning for Justin Masterson. Time now for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. Jason Kipnis, Nick Swisher, and Mark Reynolds due up for the Tribe. A scoreless pitchers duel so far here tonight at Progressive Field. Kipnis 0 for 2 has struck out Flydo. And Jose Quintana, a left-hander, delivers a first pitch strike.
Well, the Indians only came with 2 outs back in the 2nd inning. The only other time they had a base runner, it was with 2 outs when he hit Swisher. So see if you can get somebody on early.
No balls, 2 strikes. Indians Media Relations Director Bart Swain checking in from his luxury box tonight, letting us know that the paternity list move is 1 to 3 days officially.
Oh, 1 to 3. I was wrong. 3 to 5. 1 to 3. Thanks, Bart.
Pass the guacamole, Bart. Thank you. The 0-2 on back out of play.
Luxury suite. Feet up, shoes off.
I bet he's warm too.
Oh, yes, he is. He's by a fire somewhere.
Now the Quintana 2-strike pitch to Kipnis. He wanted it up high, and he got that a little bit high and tighter than he probably wanted to. You see where Jimenez has the glove.
Well, this one up and in. I mean, you can pick that one up as a hitter. Still, you get out of the way. That was Exmo Cam right there.
Kipnis yanks one right field. Rios on the move, makes the catch. Basket-style knee-high grab as he was headed toward the warning track. And that is out number 1.
Well, that's an extra base hit. That's at least a double if he doesn't get it. It looked like it was almost a snow cone. So it woke Kipnis up. Kipnis hit another ball very well, and Rios just snags it by the Look at that, right at the end of the glove. It goes in. It gets down, minimum double for Kipnis, possible triple. So a fine running catch. They've had a couple of them tonight out there in the outfield for the Sox.
Yep, their corner outfielders each made a nice play. Now Nick Swisher hit by a pitch his last time up. Down low with it, 1-1. This is one of those games, too, Rick. You wonder how each manager is thinking in terms of pitch count, because neither guy has really been in trouble. They haven't had to work hard. I see Quintana already closing in on 100. He's talking to Bobby Thigpen right now.
Well, right now, the White Sox bullpen is the best in the league. So I don't think he'll hesitate to go. But he certainly has not. I mean, come on, 2 base runners. He's been unbelievable.
This might be one of those games where, pitch count isn't really the determining factor.
I mean, you can't pitch any better than Quintana's pitch tonight against the Indians.
He's spinning a 1-hit shutout in the 7th inning. He has struck out a half dozen, has not walked a batter. He hit Swisher with a pitch back in the 4th. It's the last Indians base runner in this game. Up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's low, full count. So a good at bat for Nick Swisher. As Mark Reynolds waits on deck. And he chased one for strike 3, and that's 7 now for Quintana. 2 down here in the 7th. Let's go back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski. All right, thanks, Al. Jose Quintana pitching into the 7th inning. Since 2003, the White Sox have now made 885 quality starts. That's 6 innings or more, 3 runs or less allowed. It's one of those stats. It's in their notes. It's something obviously they take great pride in, and it's also a reason when you think back to when they won the World Series in 05. That was kind of the genesis of it. They rode their starting pitcher to that World Championship.
Sure, they
did. That's really been a sort of the backbone of their clubs. Good starting pitching.
Well, it's certainly been a good one tonight for this guy. But one mistake is all it takes.
The 1-1 to Reynolds. Popped him up. Shallow right. Rios makes the catch. The Indians go 1-2-3.
presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
No score, 8th inning. Dominated by the starters tonight. Justin Masterson for the Tribe and Jose Quintana of the Chicago White Sox. Quintana has retired 10 Indians in a row, and he's given up just one hit.
Well, and this weekend, you know, it's the start of in-division play for the Indians and the White Sox here. And the White Sox, as I mentioned, beat the Indians 11-7 last year, but the Indians just 31-41 in the Central Division last year. The White Sox were 37-35. And if you're going to really want to take control and have anything to do, you've got to win, I think, very big in your division. And both these teams have a ways to go, so this is a good start. Whoever can win this first game.
In the air left field, back goes Brantley, racing back. Over his head, can't make the play. Backing up is Bourne. And into second base with a leadoff double is Connor Gillespie, his second hit of the night. Just beyond the outstretched reach of Michael Brantley in deep left field.
Well, he went back a long way to get that ball. This kid he hit it very well. He has 2 hits. Look at Brantley going up and just out of reach. Deflects off the wall. So they get the leadoff double. Now we'll see what they do with Ramirez. Ramirez is a guy that he can bunt. He's a good bunter. He can handle a batter. They're going to say go ahead and try and shoot it the other way. You've got the 9th place hitter on deck.
You usually don't see the 8th hitter bunt for the 9 guy.
I know it.
But we'll see what they decide to do.
But Ramirez, he's a good bunter.
He squares. He bunts foul, hit himself in the box with it.
Yeah, sometimes when you're a manager, and I mean, you want a guy to bunt him over, and you see a bad first bunt attempt like that was. Sometimes they take it off. But 1 run looks like it can win this game the way it's been going. So you got to play for it. You got to move him over.
Again, he squares, bunts it straight up in the air, and right there to grab it is Gomes.
That was a great pitch by Masterson, how he ran it in on him, and it made it a difficult pitch to bunt. Ramirez popped it straight up for Gomes. An easy out and a big out. Watch this. He ran it in. You couldn't get the bat head out in front, the barrel in fair territory, and he popped it up. Jabbed at it. Easy play for Gomes, out number 1.
Yeah, Gomes will probably never have an easier pop-up to catch in his life. He barely had to move.
It's a great pitch right there by Masterson.
So now Hector Jimenez, 0 for 2 on the night. Twice he has tried to shoot it the other way, though, so if you're Lonnie Chisenhall and or Asdrubal Cabrera, you need to be alert on that side of the infield. Jimenez grounded into a double play that went 5-4-3 in the 3rd inning, and he grounded out to Chisenhall in the 6th. This time he pulls the ball. Kipnis will field it and throw him out, 2 down. Gillespie goes to 3rd. And now Alejandro Diaza will be the batter. Late innings are brought to you by Captain Morgan Rum. Raise a glass, always in moderation. A timeout called here is Mickey Callaway, the Indians pitching coach, going out to the mound. Tribe has activity in the bullpen. Diaza, left-handed hitter. Vinny Pastano warming. You know, with those back-to-back days off, the one thing you have guys now that have been sitting around and haven't pitched in a game, and that's managers will always tell you the problem with bullpens is you're either using them too much or not enough.
Yeah.
You're always trying to balance the two.
Well, there's the lefty Thornton for the White Sox, but right now the game's at hand, so their bullpens are ready to go. I don't know how sharp or how well rested the White Sox are coming off a 3-game series in Washington, but I know the Indians they are fully rested now.
Well, Masterson has been dynamite so far tonight. He goes and gets ahead of Diaza with a first pitch off speed. Strike one. Diaza has bounced out, reached on an error, and walked.
See, they wanted to talk about how they wanted to pitch Diaza because you have Keppinger, the right-hander, who he's handled easily tonight. You know, you don't want this left-hander to come up and hurt you.
Although Masterson appears to be going right at Diaza. He's got him buried in the count 0-2. 11,864. They're rising to their feet, appreciative of the effort by Masterson tonight. The 2-strike pitch just a bit outside, and Diaza would not chase. The 1-2.
Ooh.
Same pitch.
Good pitch.
Same result. Diaza able to hold off.
This ball's off the dish. You're hoping to get the hitter to swing at it. As you see the movement going away, it was a ball, but he didn't chase.
71% of Masterson's pitches tonight have been for strikes.
That's great, isn't it? 71% for Justin. That's beautiful for anybody. But when you have the movement like he does, that is fantastic.
Fourth time he's faced Diaza tonight. The 2-2 swung out and missed. He got him. Masterson with his 7th strikeout of the night. And the White Sox strand a runner at third base. No score, bottom of the 8th inning, and it's now time for today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Left-hander Matt Thornton will come on for Chicago as a 5th appearance. And Robin Ventura staying with the southpaw after Quintana went 7 one-hit shutout innings, striking out 7, did not walk a batter, hit one guy, but otherwise was dynamite, retired the last 10 he faced in a row.
Very good. And he brings Thornton on because you've got Brantley, Gomes, and then Chisenhall, another left-hander. So we've seen Thornton for years. He's a power lefty, gets it in there, up there in the mid-90s. High fastballs.
Slow chopper, it stays fair. 1 away. Our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. And Not much to see. One hit for the Indians. It was a double by Brantley with 2 outs back in the second. The only other base runner for the Tribe tonight, Nick Swisher, who was hit by a pitch with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Now, the Indians' record coming into tonight, 1-3 against left-handed starters. Their batting average, however, against lefties, 20 points higher than it was against righties coming in. Pitch low and away to Yan Gomes, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Gomes in a good spot, 2-0. Thornton with the 2-1 now, and Gomes big swing and a miss. And that'll leave it up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, center field. Coming in, Diaza. And makes the catch. 2 down. Stay tuned after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jason will have the highlights, break that down. Katie will have reaction from the clubhouse, and Rick and I will have some final thoughts as well. It's all straight ahead following the ball game. Indians have certainly seen their share of Matt Thornton over the years, a record of 4-6 in his career against the Tribe. He has 3 saves and an ERA of 4.88. It has seemed over the years with Thornton that he has either been lights out, you can't hit him, or the Indians have tattooed him.
Yeah, well, I think that happens. You know, when you face a guy as often as you face him, he comes in every once in a while, he's going to have a clunker.
Yeah.
Or he'll leave a fastball middle of the plate because he is a high fastball pitcher. And I've seen a number of our hitters maybe get on him, but I've also seen him lights out, too, where you can't touch him, and he'll strike you out.
And I think, Rick, too, you think back, they used him I think it was in the closer's role a couple of years ago when they were trying to figure out what to do, and he didn't take to that.
They had it all for April.
Yeah.
You know, after they traded Santos, they were looking for a closer. And I'll tell you what, they had a rough April. He wasn't a closer. He's a heck of a setup guy. I don't know if he doesn't have the makeup. He's got a great arm. He's a power arm guy, but he doesn't fit into that closer's role.
Left-hander Rich Hill warming for the Tribe as Lonnie Chisenhall bats with 2 down in the 8th inning and the base is empty and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Weekly tap to short. Ramirez a slight bobble but recovers and he throws him out. So we'll go to the 9th. No score. All right, we are scoreless into the 9th inning. Justin Masterson still in the ball game for the Tribe. Masterson will begin this 9th inning at 101 pitches on the night. 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Jeff Keppinger, Alex Rios, Adam Dunn, due up for Chicago. We've said many times before, because of the way the game is played today, it's very, very rare for a hitter to see a pitcher 4 times in a game, but that's what these hitters will all be doing.
Well, if you see a pitcher 4 times, he's been dealing. And that's exactly what Masterson has done tonight. Because he is still out there. Francona has confidence. He's been very good against Keppinger tonight.
Bullpen ready if needed.
Oh, yeah. He struck him out twice and a little tapper back to Justin. Able to get him. I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, the Indians have 1 hit. The Sox have 5. 2 doubles, 3 singles. They had an opportunity last inning, a leadoff double. They couldn't advance him. And Masterson got out of it.
The 1-2. Weekly grounded to short as Dribble Cabrera flips it over, 1 down. Revisiting our keys to the game from earlier tonight. Just in time, we talked about Masterson setting the tone. Boy, has he ever. 8 1/3, 5 hits. The Konerko double came with 2 outs in the 7th inning, so they've been able to effectively deal with him. But now you've got Alex Rios, who has hit 4 home runs already for Chicago. 8 ribbies, 3 doubles. And quickly the count 0-2. Indians had the left-hander Rich Hill in the bullpen with left-handed hitting Adam Dunn on deck. 2-strike pitch in the air right field. Routine for Stubbs. 2 down. But I think the way Masterson's pitching, there's no way Terry Francona will take him out of this game the way he's dealing.
Well, he's earned the right to stay in the game and continue to pitch. This will probably be his last inning. But he's had, again, nasty slider, great sink on his pitches. He's been, as you mentioned, 71% strikes. He's thrown the ball as well as I've seen him. He's been fun to watch.
Adam Dunn taking a strike. A little bit high. Three-man shift right side of the infield with Dunn. Low and away. Good pitch. Really painted the outside part of the plate. As Gomes sat there nicely, received it well. It's 2-2 now. With 2 down and the bases empty here in the top half of the ninth.
These fans are into it. I mean, they're standing up. They want to see him get this out. 9 shutout innings.
In the air, left field. Back is Brantley. He's under it. Makes the catch. Justin Masterson has blanked the White Sox through 9. Now he just needs a run. No score, bottom of the 9th inning here at Progressive Field. And the White Sox once again will go to their pen. Time now for today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. It will be right-hander Jesse Crane on for the 6th time this year. No wins, no losses, 225 run average. And
anytime we show you the numbers of their bullpen has been outstanding so far this year. They lead the league in ERA at a 184 clip, opponent's batting average. First batters leading off an inning, they've been very good. And this is a veteran team. Jesse Crane, of course, he saw him come up with the Twins, but has been here now for a couple of years and pitched very well. He's got a very good slider. The Indians, they need to scrape one across for the win. Justin Masterson, 9 shutout innings. He can't do any better than what he did. Be nice to see him score at home. Bottom of the 9th. This crowd was into it. For only having one hit, they were on their feet, and they were into this pitching matchup today. Yeah, he's done for the night, and I'll tell you what, he did a wonderful job.
Jesse Crane spent the first 7 years of his career with the Minnesota Twins before coming over to Chicago, and this is now his 3rd year with the White Sox. Crane in his career, which, as I mentioned, 7 with Minnesota, now his 3rd year with the White Sox. He has always been tough on the Indians. His career ERA against the Indians is 2. 5 wins, 1 loss.
Well, Gillespie at third is guarding the line in case of a double. The outfield very deep to try and cut anything off so they don't get a double. But Stubbs can run. You want to see him get the ball in play. It only takes one. Then they move it up to the top of the lineup.
Be huge to get Drew Stubbs on to start this inning.
Well, they haven't had a leadoff man aboard tonight.
The 2-1. Crane with a good pitch in there for a strike to even the count. Rings him up. And Crane can still run it up there at 94 miles an hour. Stubbs thought it was low, and he lets Jim Wolf know about it.
Well, for the most part tonight, he hasn't called the low pitch, but that's a pretty darn good pitch right there. I mean, that's what you call a pitcher's pitch, a perfect pitch right at the knees. I mean, that's a tough one to take with 2 strikes without the umpire calling it the way the pitching's gone tonight. You know, you go back as a hitter and say, what'd you think? Was that ball low? Of course, you're going to say, well, yeah, it might have been a little low, but I'd say that's about a perfect pitch.
Michael Bourne 0 for 3 looks at a ball in the dirt. Jesse Crane with the 1-0. Bloop to left field, a base hit for Bourne. Inside the line, he's going to turn and burn. He'll make it to second base, and the Indians have a 1-out double here in the bottom of the 9th. Bourne with a perfectly placed bloop shot down the left field line, and now the Indians have the winning run in scoring position.
Well, you couldn't have placed it any better. I mean, he's going to just put it in play, and he was concentrating on going that way. But you can see he just flares it inside the line, and then he takes off. He knows he's going to get himself into scoring position. He had a double all the way. That is the winning run, folks, on second base with 1 out. So they'll have a couple of chances to try and get him home. The good thing, he can run. So you know on a base hit, Brad Mills will be waving him around.
They're struggling as Drupal Cabrera steps in 0 for 3 tonight. Just 4 hits and 33 at-bats to start the year. Looks at a ball up and away.
You know, Cabrera, one of those guys, though, that he thrives on situations like this. This could be a situation that really gets him fired up mentally and going. Game on the line, looking for that game-winning hit because he is a clutch player.
Crane deals. And there for a strike. That'll leave an account at 1-1. Michael Bourne will get a good lead at second base. Bird dog by Ramirez. Cabrera taking, that's low. And the count is 2-1. Jesse Crane here in the bottom of the ninth in a scoreless game. 2-1 pitch rolled to second base. Keppinger will throw out Cabrera, 2 down. And now Michael Bourne moves over to third base. So the winning run is 90 feet away as Jason Kipnis will be coming to the plate and Robin Ventura will be going to his bullpen. He's going to go with a left-hander, I would believe, to match up with Kipnis. He hasn't made the move yet. But let's see what he decides to do. If this is just a strategy talk about what do you want to do. Do you want to walk Kipnis? Wouldn't think so with Nick Swisher, switch hitter, waiting on deck.
Well, yeah. A lot of times you see that manager come to the mound and, you know, they make the move. Or they'll jog out there and have their say and come back, but he just nonchalantly went out there, had his discussion with the veteran, Jesse Crane, and he said, okay, now they know what they want to do. Now they have to execute.
Hey, stay tuned for Indians Live right after the ball game, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Tribe trying to win it here in walk-off fashion. Looking for their first home win of the year. No score, last of the ninth. Winning run at third in the form of Michael Bourne. And that's low, ball one.
Went at him with that good hard slider.
Down low, same pitch, same result, 2-0.
Jason hasn't had any luck tonight. Hit a ball to left field. They made a nice catch on, and then Rios robbed him in right field of an extra base hit back in the seventh. So right now, maybe he's due to change up on him and chink one in there. That's all it will take.
Yeah. 3-0.
Well, there's the
all
talk.
sliders,
all breaking balls.
So he's telling them don't get beat.
Right. You know what? Don't give him the fastball. You go ahead and maybe take Swisher after that, and maybe he'll bring in a lefty. I don't know. But he's not going to let Kipnis beat him on a fastball right there. 3 straight sliders. Now you just go ahead and put them on. And let's see how they want to face Swisher, from the left side or the right side. Yeah, they didn't, Kipnis hit the Sox well last year, so they felt, all right, we're not going to give him a fastball to hit. We'll take our chances with Swisher.
Well, if you go by the career numbers, Kipnis 1 for 3, Swisher 1 for 6 against Crane. I don't know. Interesting. They weren't, as you said, they specifically were not going to go at Kipnis with fastballs.
No, you don't give him a fastball to swing at, and that tells me that they'd rather pitch to Swisher than they would to Kipnis there. Even though Swisher, a veteran, the one hit that he has off of Jesse Crane is a home run. The Indians only need a single. They just need a man aboard.
Kipnis takes off. Swisher lines it right field line. Fair ball! Indians win it! Nick Swisher, a walk-off game-winning single. And the Indians beat the White Sox 1-0. And now Nick Swisher feels right at home.
Well, the Sox guessed wrong on that one because Swisher didn't spot him a pitch, and they're in right field beating him up. That is a beautiful thing. Great ball game.
Really was, and you see Nick Swisher pounding Justin Masterson on the chest. Masterson set the tone. He gave the Indians a chance to win, which is all you ever ask your starter to do. He did that and more tonight. Really carried the spirits of this ball club into the ninth inning, set the stage, and then the offense coming through. Bourne with the little bloop double, and then you get the intentional walk to Kipnis, and Nick Swisher says, all right, you want to pitch to me? Game on. Here we go. And he ends it with a base hit to right field, his first game-winning knock as a Cleveland Indian.
You know, how many games are you going to win when you get 3 hits? Very few over the course of a year, if you win any. But I'll tell you what, this was a great ball game by both sides. The Indians doing it in the bottom of the ninth, and it's nice to see Nick Swisher. Look at him. Masterson thrilled to death, and deservedly so. He goes to 3-0 because he was able to stay out there for 9 innings.
Time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Let's go right back to that last pitch. Swisher not going to spot him anything. Got a fastball by Crane. Kept it inside the line. And Bourne comes in, touches the plate, and it's time to celebrate. Indians a 1-0 win.
Well, KeyBank is proud to be the banking home of the Cleveland Indians. What a game tonight here at Progressive Field after the rain finally left the area. It was chilly, but what a ball game indeed. Great pitching on both sides. The Indians prevail with a win in the bottom of the ninth, their first home win of the season. They're now 4-5. The White Sox drop to 4-6. For Rick Manning, Katie Witham, I'm Matt Underwood. Stay tuned. Indians Live is coming up next. Katie will chat with the hero, Nick Swisher.